For as long as I can remember, I've been a huge fan of the Alien franchise and Predator, and it's a shared universe, and from the comics to the movies to the games, some, mainly this one we're going to be talking about, but but what I do know is the first horror film I ever seen in theaters was Alien 3. So I was about 7 years old at the time. And I went with my aunt, who had a vast collection of movies. And, the first film came out before I was born. I think the Aliens came out the year after I was born. But I had already watched those, extensively with her. So it was fitting that she took me to see Alien 3, which ironically is the worst in the series in my opinion. But after rewatching it kind of recently, I do think that it has a pretty unique concept, right? So it's October. I think other than Dragon Ball Z, Sparking Zero, I've played nothing but horror games for the last month. I love Halloween, and I knew that it was the 10-year anniversary of Alien Isolation, so I figured why not wait till October and get this video out. So I've been planning this for a very long time. I recently just went through it again and beat it on hard, because I'm going to kind of review the Platinum Trophy journey that I had with this game as well. I only needed 3, and it was the 100 kills by the alien, beat it on hard, and beat it without dying. So, anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video.
The other members of the crew: Kane, Lambert, Parker, Brett, Ash, and Captain Dallas are dead. Cargo and ship destroyed. I should reach the frontier in about 6 weeks. With a little luck, the network will pick me up. This is Ripley, last survivor of the Nostromo, signing off.
I had to go ahead and let that intro play out because it's so iconic, and what an intro it is too for a game that kind of took the world by storm, and still holds up to this day very well. It has some very unique mechanics in it that I don't think any game at the time had tried. And when I first heard about this game, I can't remember if it was like a gameplay reveal or an article in Game Informer or something, but I was like, all right, well, one alien, like a stalker enemy, this could go very, very good or very, very bad. And I kind of went dark in the game. I tend to do that on games that I'm excited for. And also, this being a licensed game, that always leaves a little bit of fear, right? Like, was it rushed? Is it cheeseball? Does it actually like capture the essence of what it's the source material? And I will say this might be the best iteration of any licensed IP ever, especially like in gaming, right? Like, it's incredible, and this could actually, it's so good that I feel like this could have been the sequel to the original film, right? But I mean, it's arguably better that we got it in video game form, and it is one hell of a ride. If you haven't, so my goal for this video is, if you haven't played it, there are some minor spoilers in here, not really that I'm going to talk about, but that will be shown. But it's kind of just celebrating the game, getting players that maybe never gave it a shot to give it a try. with the recently announced sequel, which is incredible. What better time than now to, if you always kind of wanted to play it but never did, play it now. And if you haven't played it in a few years, and if you haven't platinumed it and you're a trophy hunter like I am, it's really not that hard or grind of a platinum. So overall, just a celebration of the game. So it starts out basically Amanda Ripley, which is Ellen's daughter, gets word that they may have found, or that they found the Nostromo and may know where her mom is, Ellen Ripley, which is she's been missing for quite some time at this point. So Amanda, she's an engineer, kind of following in her mother's footsteps. She's probably in her early 20s, and she sets out on the space station called the Sevastopol, right? And of course, in fashion, things go wrong on the landing. She gets cut off from her crew, and it's basically just a thrill ride from here on out. I've played the game multiple times. I never attempted it on hard until now, because I want the platinum trophy. And back in the day when this came out, I wasn't into trophy hunting. I didn't get into trophy hunting until like the pandemic, basically. So I realized I only needed a few left. I earned most of them naturally, so I said, why not go for it? So here we are. More on that later. But I think the main thing that I love so much about this game is, well, number one, they nailed the visual aspect of everything, and the atmosphere, the music, the character model of the alien, the AI, all that. That's without being said. But I really like how this game does never really waver from the first person perspective, and there's literally every interaction that you do, including saving, has a first person like actual animation to it, right? Like you see there, turning on the generator. Every time you pick up a new piece of equipment or interact with a terminal, the puzzles are on a little device that you get. And I just really love that. Like, here's a little montage when she gets her flashlight. She actually puts it on, and then you got the pistol. She checks the ammo. Just really cool, immersive, and I love that. And games weren't really doing that a lot at this time. I think Call of Duty maybe be like really the only one that was handling everything in first person for the most part. And I think all first person games should be doing that now. It just really brings the immersion and makes you feel like you're like in that world here with the shotgun. And then I think the flamethrower, which is by far the best weapon in the game. But yeah, the game itself is just so immersive. Like, there's a few cutscenes which takes you out of the first person perspective. You've seen in the beginning when I was talking about why I'm making the video, but there's not very many of them. And here I'm just showcasing this because I think this is one of the, for me, immersion breaking elements of the game. The crafting system, it doesn't pause. It's just kind of doesn't fit with the game to me. But with at the time, maybe they were restricted on what they could do with the crafting system. But even like you see here, even though you're not in control right here, it doesn't look like you're not. You know what I mean? Like it never breaks that immersion up until like cutscenes like this. And even this is like the first experience of the alien, and maybe it was by design that they did this. They wanted to show this in kind of like a movie way, which is very well done, actually. Yeah, so I wanted to let that kind of play out so you could hear the sound and stuff. Um, the music's phenomenal. The sound effects are awesome. It like you never feel like safe. Even though there are parts in the game where the alien isn't like present, but they're very few. And like this is iconic, and I'm gonna let it play out. So see what I mean? It's that was so well done. Even though you didn't have control, you got to see the alien for the first time and how horrifying it is. And that's what another thing about Alien the franchise works is that like it the alien's always being covered up. Nobody knows about it. Like even the daughter of Ellen doesn't know these things exist. So the fear and horror factor is always there in every movie, and especially in this game. And that might be your probably. Oh, this is cool too. Before I go any further, I'll let this play out. So again, not taken out of the first-person view. Most of the cutscenes, if I'd say like 80% of them are in the first-person mode. This is just showing how menacing these androids can be. I mean, they walk slow, but they talk very creepy. But back to what I was saying earlier is the tracker, right? It might be your most important tool in the entire game. Because it shows you, if you're in it, and this is iconic too. I'm going to let this play out as well. So right there, I mean, that's your first look at the alien without being the controls being taken away. Look how frightening that is. And that's your first experience of having to actually like evade the alien. He's very sensitive to sound, especially on hard. I mean, there's some sections where I kind of breezed through the game when I first played it. I think I just played it on normal. I did die a few times, but the alien is very, very smart, and what they did with the AI is incredible. Even today, it's pretty incredible. It seemed like the alien was adapting and learning, but it is. See right here, I distracted it with a flare. There's things that you can do to kind of get away or distract the alien, and you can use it to your advantage too if you have human enemies. You can use flares and noisemakers and stuff to just use the alien to kill the humans so you don't have to deal with them. Especially on hard, it's a lot better to not get into combat because it's just and like this too. There's so many oh shit moments in this game. Like I thought I was dead right here, but it turns out it was actually like a scripted scene, which is very well done. I think today, like even today, this game has some of the best fire I've ever seen. Like it looks really good for being 10 years old, and replaying it, I was like, wow, like, you know, the flames left over from the flamethrower or Molotovs on the floor or wherever it hits, like, really, really, really good. Sparks flying. That again, that just goes back to the atmosphere. Like, it really truly captivates the movies, how the movies looked, especially the first one. And that was their goal, and they nailed it. And this scene is, I just put it in here because I thought it was really cool, kind of like a first-person Uncharted almost. But yeah, you're in constant danger, and there's so many times where you'll be like, have a jump scare, and it might not even have to do with the alien, you know, it could be something blowing up, or like this android, he's supposed to be helping you and he just dies immediately, like, what the heck, like, but yeah, like, so back to the AI thing I was talking about, they use some tricks, and that's terrifying too. I mean, the working Joes are terrifying. They really are. You just beat them to death, stun them, beat them to death. And this is on hard, remember, so that it takes a lot for them to go down, and they can kill you with like 2 hits. But what they did was, the alien did adapt and start learning, but they did it where it unlocked like in certain chapters. So you notice it more too when playing on hard. Like, there'll be times later in the game where, like, most of the time you're pretty much safe if you're crawling through vents, right? Unless the alien, of course, sees you go in one. But there's times later in the game where, like, you're not safe at all. Like, you could be hiding in a vent for like 5 minutes and not even moving, and then the alien somehow knows you're in there and will literally crawl through the vent and get you. Right here is just me making a mistake of didn't get him in time. Done. Dead. And there's quite a few different death scenes too, which is really cool. You know, this part's another oh shit moment, and does a really good job of creating, like, then you got this android attacking you on fire. It's just havoc, right? It's just so awesome. And the music, the sound effects, I know you can't really hear them too much here, but I can't say more about how good the sound overall in this. The voice acting is pretty solid. The writing is good. I mean, it's not top tier, but, you know, for the time being, it's really great, and it does a great job of recreating, like, the way that they spoke to each other in the Alien franchise. But yeah, I mean, like, this game, like, to me, is not only one of my favorite, like, survival horror games, it's one of my favorite games of all time. And it's not because I have... It's okay, so it's definitely one of my favorite games of all time, and licensed games of all time. Maybe my favorite licensed game of all time. I go back between this and the 2005 Punisher game. But this is a lot more recent, so it looks way better, it feels better, you know. Either way. So look at this. Look at how crazy this is. This part is nerve-wracking, okay? You got an alien in the vent with you, you're blasting him with fire, and you don't know if he's actually going to run away. Like, he could turn in an instant, but he gets away. I found myself playing this game, even just my last playthrough, where I was literally holding my breath. Like, not many games do that to me. Like, I've been playing the new Quiet Place game, which is kind of like a budget version of this, but more on that later. But I found myself doing that a lot in that game too, which is appropriate because, you know, they do that in the movies. So, but I wasn't doing it on purpose. I was just like, oh my gosh. Anyway, this scene here, I put it in just to show you how, like, really cool and different moments this game gives you. Like, it doesn't really repeat itself. I mean, the main loop is, you know, getting things working on the ship, accessing new areas, trying to get off of it while evading the alien. And it's never really repetitive. There is a lot of backtracking, but that just makes it all the more scary because you just went through an area, got through an area clean, and now, oh crap, I have to go back to that area or close to that area. Like, and that weapon is a beast against the androids. You charge it up, one shot, done. The bolt gun, I think, is what it's called. It's pretty gnarly. I don't remember that ever being in any of the movies though, but if it is, let me know, because everything else has been shown in the movie. And then, of course, what got me the most is this part. I won't show too much of it or go into it too much, but I didn't know, that's towards the end of the game, I didn't know there was facehuggers in it, and that is the one creature in all of media that still freaks me out to this day. Like, I have nightmares sometimes of having a facehugger stuck on my face. Like, this mechanic too, I didn't even know about until playing it on hard, where you can lean back and hold your breath and she'll start to like black out, and when she comes to, you can see like dots, like in real life. If you were to like hold your breath for a long time, you'll start seeing dots. I was like, what? Like, they had that in the game? It's been 10 years and I barely noticed that? Like, and the Molotov is clutch too. Takes a lot to craft, but it comes in clutch. And towards the end of the game, you will have to fight some humans. Pretty tough on hard. But this is another instance of something I didn't know about. Like earlier, I said I went dark on the game. Didn't really like want to spoil it for myself. I wanted to experience it like fresh, right? So I didn't know there was human enemies in the game or the androids until I actually played it, and I was like, oh cool, so it's not just the alien, which adds a lot of depth, right? And in most of the moments, like this one for example, the alien's not present here, so it's a straight shootout. I got lucky here. You can see my health, but they're fun. The gunplay is cool. Like, I love the way the guns like work. Like, you don't have to, you can have them equipped, but they're not visible, right? You have to hold L2 to bring the gun up, and then right trigger to fire. And then the reloading is also cool too. I feel like it's super immersive. Instead of just tapping square to reload, you have to actually hold it to fully reload your weapon, or however many bullets you have in it. And I don't think any other game's really done that. So that was just a scene. I'm showcasing here some of the like more diverse things. That was a spacewalk where you have to fix something on outside of the station. This is a breakout of the alien. This is probably the most frustrating mission in the entire game, mission 17. So heed my advice. If you plan on playing this game on hard, mission 17 is the one that is going to get you. So this right here is kind of a spoiler for the story. So I would suggest skipping ahead past this point if you haven't played the game. This is like a flashback mission of kind of like, well, I won't say any more. I'll just kind of let it play out from here.
Was a life form. Now it's our property. Salvage rights.
We need to stake our claim before anyone else does. And Ishidora is not prepared.
what happened, but the beacon stopped broadcasting.
Alright, so I wanted to show that basically for two reasons. One, I forgot about that scene, and it's actually one of my favorite parts of the game. And two, if you played this before or haven't played it in a long time, just to remember how cool that scene is. And here is kind of, from here on out, this is just going to be one of the most tedious trophies, showing you how I got it. So if you go into Survivor, the Survivor mode, it's a bit of a grind, but I knocked it out in like maybe an hour because I wasn't sure if... So this is for getting killed 100 times by the alien. I wasn't sure if the game tracked how many times you had been killed in the campaign and added it to this, or if you had to do this all in one go. But what I realized is after every time the alien kills you, it shows the save icon right at the top. So what I did to test it out is I did like intervals of like 10 to 15, like getting killed 10 to 15 times over the course of a couple days, and once I got to about like 35, I unlocked the trophy. So it must have counted, like it doesn't. There's no way to track it in game, but it must have counted all of the deaths I had throughout all my playthroughs, which was a relief because I didn't. Trophies like this are very, very tedious. But that was the. Well, that wasn't the final trophy I needed. The other two I didn't show because they would spoil the ending. So, finally got the platinum after 10 years. So, I just want to thank you guys for walking down memory lane and my thoughts on such an incredible and innovative title. And if you haven't picked it up or you haven't played it since it came out, it's super cheap and it usually comes with all the DLC, the Crew Expendable, where it's basically like the first movie. And then The Last Survivor, all the DLC, right? So I think it might even be on PlayStation Plus and Game Pass. I'm not 100% on that, but I think it is. If not, it's always on sale. So if you haven't played it, definitely pick it up. It's very, very good. And if you haven't played it in a long time, and don't own it, consider grabbing it, because we are getting a second one, and that's probably quite a bit out. But I don't really want to talk too much about that. I have a lot of thoughts on how it could take place and kind of the setting and the additions, but I'm going to leave that for a whole nother video. So I appreciate you guys. I do have one more 10-year anniversary that I'm going to celebrate before the year's over, and that is Assassin's Creed Unity. So keep an eye out for that and some of the other games I've been playing: Quiet Place, Silent Hill, Dragon Ball, Sparking Zero, Warhammer, and the Until Dawn remake. So, and then plenty others that are just around the corner. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, comments. I love reading comments, so please leave a comment on your experience with the game, or if you're just trying it out for the first time. And if you're new and you like what I'm doing here, please consider leaving a subscription. Every one of them helps me. So with that being said, see you guys on the next video. Applerski out.
Added report. Personal message. This is for my daughter. Hi, Amanda. I'm recording this for you, my sweetheart, and I hope you get to hear it one day. You see, I got into trouble. My ship, there was an accident, sweetheart, and we found an alien creature. It was very dangerous, and the only way we could stop it was to destroy the ship. I'm okay. I'm stuck on this lifeboat, long way out. But we had to destroy the ship. We had to destroy the Nostromo. We just couldn't risk bringing that thing home with us. I needed to protect you. Don't worry. Don't worry about me. I'm sure I'll see you very soon. I love you, sweetheart.